Alexander Zverev is so broken mentally at majors. And I think I've been pretty good at predicting these mental collapses in the past, but he had me fooled this time. He won the Olympics. He won Cincinnati. He lost to Djokovic at the US Open. He had a great fall. He won the ATP finals. He had me fooled this time. And again, it's not that he lost to Denis Shapovalov. Shapo's a great player. He looks much better this year. I love that the offseason gave him a little mental reset. And he's so dangerous, he can beat anyone on his day. But this wasn't Zverev out there. This was just a listless, horrendous performance by his standards where, again, he just seemed terrified. He seemed terrified to play his game. And the numbers are just so damning at this point. Shapo's not a top 10 player. If you are not aware of this by now, you should know that Zverev is 0-11 against top 10 players at slams. But Shapovalov's a top 20 player, and it doesn't get much better because Zverev versus top 20 players at slams is 4-18, and Zverev versus top 20 players overall on tour is 72-67. So despite being horrible at slams against top 20 players, he still has a winning record because that's how good he is against this top flight competition in best of three. And it's not an endurance problem. That would make too much sense. It's all mental. The major improvements that he made in 2021 were on his second serve and his forehand. And I always said before last year, everyone who said, I guarantee you Zverev is going to win a major. Actually, I said this before 2020, 2018, 2019. I said, look, I get it. I get saying that. But I've never seen anyone win a major with no kick serve and a bad forehand. And that's what Zverev had. But he fixed it. It got better. And last year, especially the forehand, it was aggressive. It was fast. It was flat when it needed to be. It was better under pressure. He didn't decelerate under pressure. And he didn't go cross court all the time, like 80% of the time, which he did at the beginning of his career. The forehand was the big improvement in my mind in 2021 that made him look so good or enabled him to play so well Olympics moving forward. And the second serve, managing it, not double faulting as much. Was 2021 perfect? No. Did he lose the match against Taylor Fritz at Indian Wells because of double faults? Yes. Did he lose at Wimbledon because of double faults? Yes. But it was better. And what do you know? It had been gone pretty much, especially the forehand issues. The forehand had looked great for 6 months. And he goes backwards in this match. It's inexplicable. And the second serve. Look, Zverev had a tough first set and then bounced back in the second set after falling behind. He went up 2 breaks and started to play some good tennis for a bit and served for the second set. He hit 2 double faults. One of them was a completely zero confidence deceleration. The next one was a first serve that he hit on a second. But not only can I point to those big moments with the forehand, throughout the match, tactically, it was a nightmare because he was hitting it too slow. And against Shapovalov, you have to get the ball to his backhand, especially when you hit a forehand cross court. And the big problem that Zverev had in this match, and the reason he couldn't win baseline rallies, is because his cross court forehand was so slow that Shapovalov was running around it and hitting forehands, ripping inside-out forehands. And what was Zverev doing? Was he able to make Shapovalov pay for running around by hitting a nice counter forehand down the line into the open court? No, he looped it back cross court and gave Shapo more forehands to just tee off on. The forehand was too slow. It needs to be bigger. You need to rush Shapovalov, and you need to hit it to his backhand. And if your forehand is 70 miles per hour, it takes too long, and Shapovalov can run around it. That was a big issue for Zverev, and then Shapovalov, credit to him for taking advantage and demolishing off forehands from the backhand side of the court. Backward steps for Zverev in how he was hitting that forehand, because it looked like 2018 again with the heavy topspin, slow, loopy rainbow forehand, which under pressure turned into deceleration shanks. That's what it looked like, 2018. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say about Zverev. I mean, it was just a very bad performance where his weaknesses just looked like weaknesses again in a way that was completely insurmountable. But I want to give Shapovalov major props, and I can't do an in-depth breakdown on this match because I didn't watch all of it. I had one eye on it, actually more like a quarter eye on it during the first set. So I was watching Nadal, and then I got there for midway through the second set, and I watched after that. But here's the key for Shapovalov, and what I want to give him major props for. 66% first serve returns in play against Zverev's first serve. I just said it twice. Redundancy is bad. I'm sorry. 66%. Why? He blocked it. He committed to using the block return, especially on the backhand. And he didn't use it sometimes. He used it all the time. And he used it the whole time. And he out-aced Alexander Zverev quite easily. Now, part of that was also because Zverev didn't want to hit second serves. So Zverev served 70% first serves, but wasn't really going close to the lines, wasn't hitting his spots, which gave Shapovalov the chance, certainly, to make returns. But just because he got the chance to make returns doesn't mean he was going to make them. He had to make them. And full credit to Shapovalov against a player in Zverev who was averaging 126 miles per hour. He can serve faster, of course. You know, he can average 130. I've seen him do it, but he just wasn't mentally there in this match. Still, 126 miles per hour, Alexander Zverev, to get that percentage of returns in play is very, very impressive, and he committed to the block. Now, I missed his last match against Riley Opelka. Couldn't watch it because I was focused on Alcaraz Berrettini. So, I understand that he was blocking the return in that match as well. But the match before that, I did watch in its entirety. His match against Sun Woo Kwon, where his return was really, really bad. I mean, he was making Sun Woo Kwon serve look like a top 20 serve, okay? And I might be exaggerating, but only a little, because he was taking those full swings and just missing way too many returns on Sun Woo Kwon's serve. Now, remember, he's got a new coach in his corner, Jamie Delgado, former coach of Andy Murray. When he first started working with Mikhail Yuzny, he was blocking the returns. Somehow he got away from it. I think this is a classic case of the old coach was telling him the same thing, but he just started listening to the new coach. Not to mention, he was playing Riley Opelka and Alexander Zverev. And these are players that sometimes actually get a Denis Shapovalov to be like, okay, I'll block it. Where in reality, he should be blocking his returns against half the servers on tour, really. Anyone who can serve with any kind of heat, he should block it. It's better that way. He's a better player when he blocks his returns. So credit Shapo for that. He was good off the ground. He was solid. He was explosive. He was moving well, and he was eating Zverev up from the baseline. Zverev playing too far back, too passive, too timid, hitting too slow. Shapovalov was able to do what he should have done, which is make Zverev look like a player who is a shell of himself and isn't confident, and Shapovalov did just that. But oh boy, I think I need to make a pact. I need to make a pact, I believe, that I will not believe in Alexander Zverev in a major until he beats a top 10 player. Will I stick to that? I got to stick to it. I have to stick to it because I don't like to do those things, because predictions are, you're supposed to get ahead of what's going to happen in the future. and not just base it off of what happens in the past. But I mean, I am just baffled by this performance. Again, he can lose. Denis is a great player. Zverev can lose to Shapovalov, but losing like that, playing that badly, is just a yikes. A yikes performance from Zverev. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.